The 2028 presidential race continues to heat up. Wait a minute. This is a joke, right? Seriously. Oh my God. Okay, well, folks, you may want a stiff drink or edible on hand for this story, as another key Republican, and a very unlikely one at that, just showed some major ankle for a potential 2028 presidential run. If you're eager to be rid of Donald Trump, if you're ready to see all the MAGA-rettes devour one another as they try to land the highest job in the United States, well, you're going to enjoy this story. Also, come to think of it, you may want to have a gong on hand. You'll know when it happens. That's next here on The David Reddish Show. Welcome to the show, beautiful viewers. I am, as ever, your host, once again asking you to subscribe to our channel now. You will stay up to date on the news, you will help us spread the word to other YouTube viewers who need to see the facts, and you help us push forward toward our next benchmark of 400,000 subscribers. But okay, let's get into this. It's a telling fact that in addition to President Chickenhawk's anemic approval ratings, more and more commentators on the right have shifted focus to discussing potential GOP candidates for 2028. It's almost like they want to be rid of President Strokey Pants as badly as the rest of us. Go figure. To date, most speculation has fallen on two key Trump administration figures. Take a look.
Is there a new frontrunner in the shadow Republican race to succeed Donald Trump as president? This week, everyone noticed Marco Rubio.
Hello.
First, looking quite comfortable at the White House briefing podium. Then at the Vatican, exchanging gifts with Pope Leo after weeks of President Trump criticizing the pontiff, before Rubio went on to meet with Italy's prime minister. Of course, he is a Secretary of State, but it's tough not to compare him with J.D. Vance, the vice president right now. Sources have previously told us that President Trump has openly mused about his vice president's performance and even asked friends to compare Vance with Rubio.
Rubio and Vance, right? Well, the crowd may have just gotten a bit thicker, not to mention drunker. Stay with me here. Trump himself remains coy on who he would like to see succeed him as leader of the party. In an earlier breaking story, he insulted Vance to his face. See our other videos for more on that. At the same time, the disaster of the Iran war and a potential war with Cuba have placed Rubio in the hot seat, and though he wants to run for president about as badly as a mosquito wants blood, he may already be a fatally flawed candidate. And now it looks like Trump may have someone else entirely in mind for his 2028 successor, and probably someone you would not expect. Enter drunken defense secretary and champion butt-chugger Pete Hegseth. He appeared earlier today in Kentucky to campaign for the Donald Trump-endorsed candidate Ed Galreen, a former Navy SEAL challenging Trump's foe Thomas Massie. And that, beautiful viewers, is strange. Can you think of another time an active defense secretary came out to campaign for anyone, let alone a Republican primary challenger, during a war? For that matter, can you think of one who did so in peacetime? Probably not. And this bizarre turn of events caught the eye of several CNN analysts. Appearing this morning on the network, Associated Press reporter Michelle Price offered her assessment that there is more to Hegseth's stop than just campaigning for Ed Galreen. Take a look.
Listen to what Massie said yesterday about this Trump effort, this no holds barred effort by the president to try to defeat Massie.
They're desperate. That's why they're sending the Secretary of War to my district tomorrow. That's why the president's losing sleep and tweeting about this. That's why AIPAC has dumped another $3 million into my race this weekend. It's because they're panicked and they really haven't been able to gain a lead in this race.
And Michelle, this is what the president said about Massie on Truth Social this morning. The worst congressman in the long and storied history of the Republican Party is Thomas Massie. He's an obstructionist and a fool. Vote him out of office tomorrow, Tuesday. It will be a great day for America.
Yeah, I mean, the congressman says desperate. One man's desperate as another's determined. This is personal. This has been going on a long time. Remember that Congressman Massey actually endorsed Ron DeSantis in the 2024 primary. He was one of the few congressmen to do that. So there's a lot here. It wasn't just one issue that kind of set them up for this conflict. But one thing to note about what Jamie pointed out, what's interesting, is we've also heard that Pete Hegseth might be potentially interested in running for president. This is a very interesting kind of campaign debut, and I do wonder if on some level we know that the president likes to kind of test how people are in the campaign trail, if we're going to see some of that Hegseth campaign style today.
So, is Drinky Pete angling for the Oval Office? Is he sober enough to do so? And, okay, this is catty, but what's up with his suit jackets? Is it just me, or do they always look kind of small for him, like the waist is oversuppressed or something? I have a feeling that may be by design. Hegseth, a man who just loves working out with other men and showering together after. Hegseth thinks these small coats make him look more muscular, when in fact they just make him look like an awkward kid going through a growth spurt. It doesn't make him look masculine or muscular, it makes him look stupid. Which is something Hegseth is very good at, of course, right up there with getting drunk, assaulting women, attacking strippers, and impregnating women who are not his wife. It's a hell of a presidential resume, don't you think? And it's a natural evolution of MAGA. Drunker, dumber, and rapier. Good luck in 2028 with that, Pete. We will all be watching and waiting to point and laugh. Now, somebody bang that gong. Pete's act is a real loser and needs to get off the stage. This is the David Reddish Show.